Hello, everybody. Welcome to the broadcast for Watch Along here between Australia and England. We've just witnessed a hell of an innings from Travis Michael Head, absolutely smashing England to pieces. Australia need 13 to win. The 2 for 192s. Labuschagne 40 not out. Steve Smith on 0. Joe Root is into the attack. I don't know why he didn't start earlier. But not good enough. England have just been absolutely pounced by Travis Head. Unbelievable. One of the great hundreds in Ashes of all time. So Joe Root comes into Smith. Smith plays down the ground for a single, gets back. Probably be a 3-4 minute video, but we'll see. 11 to win. Smith advances. And that's 4. Sorry, Labuschagne advances. That is 4 more. Seven to win. How are you, mate? Yes, you're audible. I can hear you. Seven to win.
Am I audible to you right now, Lucas?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay.
There we go. Labuschagne, oh, that's a big 6. That is out in the big stands. That's a massive 6 by Labuschagne. That's his 50. Goodness gracious me. Only 1 to win. One to win. That is a massive 6. That is miles back. That's the end of the over as well. This will be a very quick watch along. Two for 204.
Are you there?
Yeah, hello, Kate Safan. Kate Safan, hello.
Okay.
1 to win. That was a
So, what do
massive
you want
6
to
by
say
Labuschagne.
about this match, Lucas?
Yeah, the match.
The match is finishing. Yeah, hello guys. I hope you guys are having a great day, and I hope you guys are liking it and subscribing it at the same point of time. Yeah, Lucas. So coming back to this, the topic about this match. Tell me one thing. The match is finishing inside 3 days right now. What do you want to say? Is it about the pitch? Is it about the shit batting?
Smith hits it for a single. That is the end of the game. Australia won the first Test match by 9 wickets. Unbelievable win. To answer your question, Gorvir, yeah, the curator or the groundsman came in and said, "Thank you so much, Kate. We really do appreciate it." The groundsman said that this will not last 3 days. This will not be 3 days, and it's just shown it. It was a green top earlier. You can still see the grass on the pitch.
Yes.
But England's shot selection was terrible, to be honest. They got into really good positions. Harry Brook, Ollie Pope, especially in the first innings, just terrible shots. You know, they could have made a lot more runs. Australia, same thing. Carey and Head were terrible. They gave away their wickets. It was good bowling by
Yes.
Cast Jofra.
I thought Alex Carey. I thought Alex Carey batted really well, but at some point of time he was playing too many shots.
Yeah, it was a stupid way to get out. You remember that slog over the
Yeah, I
slips, and he got
remember.
pulled at third
I
man.
think in the third match. Yeah.
Yeah. And then you're thinking when England's bat again, you're thinking England probably make a lead of 300. It's going to flatten out. Do you remember the test last year in India where India batted in their second
Yes.
innings
Where
and they
Yashasvi Jaiswal and KL Rahul made a 100-run partnership, if I'm not wrong.
and then on
Over
day
100.
three, Collins got the 100.
Yeah.
I thought it was going to be like this. I thought Root was finally going to get his 100. They're going to get a lead
Yeah.
of 300. It's going to be game over. But Scott Boland was amazing in the second innings. He got
Yeah.
targeted in that first innings. He got really targeted. Scott, if you
Don't
look
you
at
think
Scott
it's
Boland,
because in the second inning, none of the batsmen tried to attack Scott Boland, and that's why he taken a lot of wickets.
yeah. So the first innings where Scott Boland bowled, he was bowling too quick. He was bowling high 130s. He had no control, over
Okay.
pitching. You remember the amount of the straight drives England were playing to him, straight down the
Yes.
ground. This innings, he was a lot more in control. He was bowling a little bit slower, getting a little bit more control, and England couldn't hit him. Duckett was really struggling against him. Pope was really struggling against him, and then the wickets came. Outside off, the seam of the ball pitches outside off and goes away from the batsman. He picked up 3 edges.
Yes.
He picked them up very quickly. Pope, Duckett, and Brooke very, very quickly. But that's what Scott Bowler can do. We saw that when he took 6 for 9 against England at the MCG. So it's good bowling.
Yep.
Good bowling. Stark came on. Stark was an unbelievable test match by Stark. Unbelievable catch. You see that catch?
Mitchell Stark. If you look at the Mitchell, against the Jack Crowley, right?
Yeah. He's probably
It was unbelievable.
he's probably the second best bowler in the world right now behind Bumrah. He's past Cummins for me.
Yep.
The last
Without any doubt.
years,
Without any doubt.
the last 2 years of Mitchell Stark has been unbelievable. Like, it's so much better than Cummins. Nothing against Cummins. He's probably still top 5, but he's behind Bumrah for me. Stark. Bumrah's still the best by a mile. That's not even debatable. But I think Stark's the second best bowler in the world right now. And that the shot by Joe Root when he chopped on, that was a poor shot. Very, very poor shot. So it was interesting because if you remember, Atkinson and Cast, they put on a good partnership. I think Steve Smith lost it a little bit with his captaincy, bowling too short. So when Cast got to the pitch, so he got to the middle, their lead was only 150. They put on a 50 partnership, Atkinson and Cast. And I thought, the game's gone. That's what really has cost them, is that captaincy. And then Khawaja couldn't bat because he's injured, so they promoted Head. They couldn't. They couldn't do that.
Ask, what has happened with Usman Khawaja? What has happened with Usman Khawaja? He didn't bat in the opening in the first day of the test match. Okay, I thought it was just because of the timeout thing that he wasn't on the field for quite some time. That's why he wasn't able to open. But on the second inning itself, I don't know what was the main reason that he didn't open. Was he injured? Will he be playing the next test match?
There was a situation where Usman dived for a catch at slip. He dived and he fell on his back. That flared up. So Cricket Australia said he wouldn't have batted today, no matter what would have happened. So they had an interesting decision because Labuschagne as an opener is horrible. He's a disaster. So they went with something different. I said before the innings, I said I'd go with Head or Carey. I think one of those are going to open. They're gonna play their natural game regardless. They're going to be very quick. But I didn't expect Head to come out like that. He absolutely destroyed the fast bowlers. I've never seen a fast bowler cartel get destroyed like that. And England, they just lost the plot. Their bowlers lost the plot. Stokes lost the plot. Bad captaincy. There's a situation where Labuschagne came in and they just give cheap, easy signals to Labuschagne. And he just absolutely lost the plot, Ben Stokes. We saw this in India. when the going gets tough, they lose the plot. They can't handle it. Saw it in India when they got destroyed. So same things happen here when they're not going too well. England, they don't like it. They just capitulate.
But tell me one thing.
And we've seen
Tell me
it.
one thing. Don't you think they have must have very good chance by winning this test match because they got the lead of 40 odd runs
Yeah,
on the second day itself. That's a massive lead in Australia. And even if they could have managed to score 250 more extra, 300 would be a very difficult chase on this ground.
they could have, but they just Joe Root. That was a terrible shot. He doesn't play like that. So that's a man that's under pressure. He's feeling the pressure. He's yet to get 100 in Australia. It's not going to happen this game. So he got 4 more chances, but they just want butt on ball. You just can't do that on moving pitches. Boland was seeming at a mile, and all they want to do was butt on ball. And then he took Pope, Duckett, and Book in space of 10 minutes. And that's what really did the damage. He really did a lot of damage, Scott Boland, in that second innings. So first innings was Mitchell Stark, and then second innings was Scott Boland. So England will be kicking themselves. This is a game probably England should have won. If you said to
Yes.
me, after start of day 2, right, and England led by 40 on a very tricky pitch, they should have at least made 250, 300 lead. So this was their best chance because there was no Cummins, and then they get Cummins back, and they also moved to a pink ball test where Mitchell Stark's the best pink bowler in the world. So it's going to be even more hard. So it's going to be even more hard.
And if you look at the scenario also, this was the first test match. I think that too much noise got into their heads. They didn't know.
Yep.
They didn't know what was going on in this test match. If you look at the scenario, all the players. I think if you look at the most of the player, Jack Rahul was playing. I think for the first time in this Australian soil. I do understand he has played for probably in the BBL, but that's a different cherry altogether. Ben Duckett was playing for the first time in Australia. Only Pope was batting for the first time. Ben Stokes is obviously he's the legend, so he had this. I think this is the third or fourth time. Apart from Joe Root and Ben Stokes, all the players had the first time in the Australian soil. So don't you think they got too much nervous? The noise come to their heads, and they didn't able to handle the pressure. Because
Well,
tell me one thing, Lucas, 40 runs lead is a massive lead
on a green top, yeah,
on
on a pitch like
Skuro on the green top pitches. It's a massive lead.
yeah. Well, it's almost like 100. It's like 100 lead. 40 is a big lead on this green top. They had a chance because like I said, on day 2 or start of day 2, I had England 60%, Australia 40%, and I thought England would get a lead of 300 and that'd be it, game over, with their pace attack. But they were shocking with the ball. Jofra Archer, lost his pace. When you've got a fast bowler and your biggest asset is your pace, and if you lost that, you're no good. Can't do anything on these pitches with it. Atkinson was terrible. Stokes bowled 2 overs. Oh my God, Head absolutely took him to the. I've never seen someone do that to Stokes' bowling ever. Stokes is really a good tidy reserve swing bowler. Travis Head didn't care. He just absolutely took him to the cleaners. So that just. You look at the result, it's 9 wickets, but it doesn't deserve to be that way. Doesn't deserve to be 9 wickets. So England are going to look at this and think, you know what? We played our best cricket in the first innings when we bowled them. We bowled them out for less than 150. That was our best. That's our best result ever. But we lost by 9 wickets.
And the look at the scenario also, Lucas. The majority of the wicket was taken by Ben Stokes on the second day itself. Okay, it wasn't like that the Jofra Archer was running and bowling at 150, 160. Mark Wood was also, I was seeing Mark Wood. He has been coming out from the injury after such a long period of time. his pace was also not there up to the mark. He was also bowling at 130, 140. So if you look at the
I thought
bowler, I think in Australia needs to sorry, England needs to think whether they will able to take a 20 wicket on this kind of a pace attack.
some breaking news: Mitchell Stark is the player of the match, rightly so. Took a 10-foot, rightly so.
Okay.
Um, well, I thought Mark Wood was horrible this test. He was nowhere near his
Yes.
best. Now,
Yeah.
he hasn't played in 12 months. He hasn't bowled in Test cricket in 12 months. So I can understand that. I've worried about Atkinson with his scramble seam. If you pay attention, he actually scramble seams. So you've got no chance of swinging a Kookaburra ball with the scramble screen in Australia. That won't happen. And he was terrible today. He looked too slow. His accuracy wasn't there. Mind you, when you've got a player like Head just going absolutely nuts and hitting the middle of everything coming to him, it's very hard. But England, they don't like losing. They don't like when the pressure's onto them. They crumble. They crumbled against India in India. They crumbled against India in England. They crumbled against Pakistan the second time they went to Pakistan when they lost that series. They are good front runners, which means they want to lead all the time. They want to be in winning positions all the time. When they get into a losing position, they crumble. That's their weakness. So mentality, they're not very strong. They're pretty weak mentality individuals. Because Australia, when Atkinson and Cast, when they dominated that partnership, Australia were getting pretty frustrated. Stark was getting pretty emanated. Wasn't happy with Cameron Green. Wasn't happy with Bo Webster. But at least they were still talking. At least they were still, proactive.
Yes.
With Travis Head, there was no talk. There was no communication. Ben Stokes in the past, sometimes when he bowls, he asks for his team to give him a lift. There was none of that from Stokes. Absolutely nothing. Even Jamie Smith, the keeper, was quiet. So there was absolutely nothing. So that shows you their very weak mentality. They don't like losing.
Don't you think the
And
captaincy pressure is also leading towards this downfall to the Ben Stokes? What do you call it? The aggressive nature is obviously taking away from the captaincy.
Stokes was way too defensive for me. Way too defensive. Now, it's hard when you've got a madman at the end of the pitch just blasting every ball for 6 and 4. That's hard. But when Labuschagne came on, why was he giving him singles? There was a point there where for 30 minutes of play, Labuschagne only faced 9 balls in 30 minutes. So build some pressure. Make Labuschagne as difficult as it can for him. And all he was doing was giving away easy singles. So Ben Stokes' captaincy in the second innings was terrible, absolutely terrible. Smith out-captained him.
So you want to say that he was too defensive?
Yeah, too defensive. And I thought Ben Stokes is one of these captains where he doesn't believe in defensive tactics. But
Yep.
When Labuschagne got on strike, he should have just closed the gap. He should have at least built some pressure. Labuschagne's not in good form, by the way. I know he made 50 this match, but coming into it, that's why he didn't open.
He was
horrible.
allowed to make a 50 on this match.
Yeah. And Labuschagne didn't want to open because he's terrible at opening. That's why Head was opening. So to bring in Labuschagne and to give him easy singles and to make him not face more than 9 balls for 30 minutes of play, that's bad captaincy. That's just dreadful from Ben Stokes and also the vice captain, which is Harry Brook. Harry Brook's captained before coming to Australia. He captained the New Zealand series in white ball.
Yes.
So he should have been another voice. Yeah, he should have been another voice. So bad captaincy and bad mentality by Ben Stokes.
So tell me one thing, if you look at the Australian batting lineup also, I think Travis had, again, he showed it today that if you make him open, okay, he will obviously gonna play the next level innings, okay. So don't you think even Usman Khwaja is fit for the next test match and the another one batsman, I'm just forgetting his name, the next opening partner, Wetherland, something like that, the name, I can't able to pronounce that his name. Don't you think that other batsman who is who was opening that in the test match, he should be batting at number 5 and Travis Head should be opening with Uzi?
It's caused a bit of problems now because Head has opened before. You know yourself. He opened in India. He made that brilliant 90. He's opened in Sri
And
Lanka.
just to complete you, sorry to interrupt you. Just to complete you, he is a genuine opener. He opens in white ball format also, so it's nothing new that he can't open in test matches.
Yeah, so he's had experience in white ball opening. He's had experience in test matches. He opens in Asia. I think Cricket Australia
Yep.
from now on are going to let him open in Asia. So when Australia tour India in the next 2 years, he will be one of the openers. So they've made that clear. They like him opening because Head's not the best player of spin. He likes pace. So it could be a situation if Khawaja's not playing, they might bring in Webster just to strengthen that lower order. Because Green hardly bowled. Green hardly bowled? He bowled 4 overs the match. He's your all rounder. You got to be doing better than bowling him 4 overs a match. And his batting
But
was
what's the
horrible.
need in this test match? Don't you think? I think Cameron Green doesn't need to bowl in this test match because it wasn't required. It was a low scoring kind of a matches.
Yeah. Well, you can't exactly bowl Stark and Boland all the time. Stark bowled a lot of
Yeah.
overs in this Test match. Boland bowled a long spell after lunch. He bowled like an 8-over spell. Now, when you're taking wickets, I guess you keep on going. But that's what Green is there for. If he's not there to take wickets, he's there to at least be economical. Stay in the attack, give rest to Stark, give rest to Boland. I thought Doggett was okay with that. Doggett was okay. He wasn't spectacular. Just did his job, did what he had to do. So I want to see more overs from Green just to give Stark and Boland some protection. But all in all, the England are going to go into the dressing room saying, "How have we lost this by 9 wickets?" When they
Yes.
should have won this game. They really should have won this game, to be honest. They were in a. They are not going to get a better chance because there's no Cummins. Sorry, there's no Cummins. So Cummins is fit to play. He will play next test. That's a certainty.
And what about the Josh Hazelwood? What's the scenario of Josh Hazelwood?
I don't think Josh Hazelwood will return the series. I think he will retire at the end of the series. I don't think he gets back. I think after what Boland did in the second innings, it's going to be tough for him to drop. So this is Josh Hazelwood's third hamstring. So soft tissue injury. I don't think they'll take any chances for him. Australia have a very heavy cycle coming up. They've got to play 8 test matches in the space of 5 months. They've got Bangladesh for a 2-test series. They've got South Africa for a 3-test series in South Africa. Then they've got to play New Zealand in a 4-test test series.
Will all these 3 test matches be away or will be the home series?
The 2 against Bangladesh have to be at home. Now that's a very strange one. They might put those 2 test matches in June in the winter, which is also very hard because of AFL rugby. It's very hard to book stadiums, so they might have to play in grounds that have never played Test cricket before, like far North Queensland or Darwin, where Test cricket has never been played there. Even Darwin's a bit tough, to be honest. So the IC, as you know, the ICC, the World Test Championship Circle, you have to play those teams, or you get fined or suspended.
Yes.
But it doesn't tell you when you have to play them. You can play them whenever you want. I don't see Australia playing Bangladesh before New Zealand. I don't really see that because it's a 2-test series, and I do not see Australia booking Bangladesh for Boxing Day or the first test of the summer because the crowd will be very low. So I reckon they'll put them in the winter in low capacity stadiums like Darwin or North Queensland where they only hold 10,000 people. And then they'll play New Zealand on Boxing Day, the pink test and whatnot. And then in between they've got South Africa, a very brutal South Africa series in September.
So will be playing in home or away?
No, that'd be away. That'd be in South Africa. So that'd be the first time a test between Australia and South Africa since the Sandpaper Gate.
So
that will be a very interesting series. So that's actually in September. So if you were to put Bangladesh after that series, Australia would be probably playing 8 Test matches in the space of 2 months. That's too much. Can't do that. So
And
I see them.
Whom are you saying that this player gonna retire in few months?
I reckon Josh. I think Khawaja's gone. I reckon he'll retire, but I think everyone
Raja,
probably knew that.
this would be his last series, I think, if I'm not wrong. Looking at his age, looking at his fitness.
Yeah, I don't see Khawaja at the end of the series. Now that he's getting injured and he's getting back spasms, I think Josh Hazlewood might retire after this series. I think he's getting injured too much, and Cricket Australia are getting a little bit tentative with him.
So you are saying Josh Hazlewood would only retire in Test matches, right? Not in all formats.
I think he'll be forced to pick a format. I think Cricket Australia will say to him, look, you're getting injured too much. You need to restrict your load. So Mitchell Starker's done that. Mitchell Starker's retired from T20s and white ball cricket to extend his Test match cricket. I think you might see the same thing for Hazlewood. Steve Smith has also done that. So I think Hazlewood will be next in line. I think they'll be saying, you're getting injured too much with your hamstring. It's time to pick a format. Now, whether he picks Test matches. Josh Hazlewood actually does like white ball cricket. Unlike Stark, who said Test matches is his pinnacle, Hazlewood has a little bit different attitude towards white ball cricket. He enjoys it a little bit more because it's less load. So if Hazlewood is forced
he has
to choose,
involved as a T20 bowler also. He has involved as a T20 bowler also.
So if Cricket Australia do say that to him, I wouldn't be surprised if Hazlewood said, you know what, maybe I'll leave Test cricket and focus on white ball cricket. And that's I don't have a problem with that. That's fine. I think his attitude towards Test cricket has been very good, to be honest. I think he deserves to decide to whatever he wants to. Not everybody can pick red ball cricket. It is a very taxing format. It takes a lot out of you. As we saw with Mitchell Stark, he's 37 years of age, and he's had to retire from white ball cricket just to extend his career probably 2 years. Same with Steve Smith. I think Hazlewood will retire from one format at the end of this series. I don't think he'll be back. So Cummins will come in for Doggett. Cummins is fit. He'll play. That's a certainty. Cummins could have played this
from right from the second Test match.
Yeah, Cummins could have played this Test match, but because he wasn't in the training camp. So you got to be in a training camp. You got to bowl a lot of overs. He missed that because of his back spasms. So he wasn't necessarily injured. He just wasn't fit, like bowling fit. Now that he's fit now, he'll play in the second Test in Brisbane. Doggett will get dropped. Sad for him, but that's the way it is. And it will be Stark, Boland, and Cummins.
Can you tell me more about this bowler who obviously debuted in this first match, Dogger? I think you named Dogger, right?
Yeah, Brendan Doggett, from Queensland. Played domestic cricket for Queensland. And then he moved to South Australia. Ever since moving to South Australia, the last 2 years, he's picked up a lot of wickets. This is my state, by the way. So he helped South Australia win their first Shield title in 30 years. I actually went to that final, to that 5-day final against Queensland. He was fantastic in that final. Seam bowler, bowls 135k, so he's pretty decent. He's not slow, but seam bowler, not much swing. He's not a swing bowler. So maybe these pitches. We saw early when he did come on very early. He did trouble with the English batsmen with his seam.
Yes.
He got a really weird wicket, a weird Test wicket, first Test wicket, because no one really appealed for it. It was only Alex Carey that appealed for it. So that's probably a weird one for him to get on your debut. But no, from what I've seen, I see it because he plays for the Redbacks, my state. I see a lot of him. But from what I've seen on international level, I don't think he was out of place. I think he was okay. So I don't think he really got belted out of the attack. Yes, he wasn't threatening after his first couple of overs, but he got the job done. He was economical, and that's what you've got to be. If you're not taking wickets, you've got to be economical. I think they'll probably will persist with him in the future if there is another injury. But I think he's okay. Brendan Doggett, he's not too bad. I don't think he's the best
Okay.
domestic bowler. I think there's another one in Victoria that I've praised a lot that should have been playing in this test, which is Ferguson O'Neill. He's playing in a Shield match right now as we speak, playing in a pink ball test, the day-night Shield match. I think Ferguson, for me, is the one that will do a lot of damage, especially on South African pitches. I think he can. I would love to see him in South Africa. So O'Neill's a seam bowler. On the slow side, bowls 120, 125, but his accuracy is unbelievable. He went to the county this year, the county. On flat pitches, he took 22 at an average of 14. So he is extremely good with his seam bowling, O'Neill, and I think he'd be awful to play if he went to South Africa. So I think he's next in line for me, Fergus O'Neill.
Okay, tell me one thing about this opening batsman. I think his name is Webster, right? If I can pronounce it properly.
Jake Weathers. I call him Weathers. I actually know Jake. I actually know Jake. Yeah, I know Jake very well, actually. I played cricket with him at uni.
Okay.
A good mate of mine. It's weird. It's weird commentating on a mate. It's weird. The first innings there, he just got a good ball, didn't he? Can't do anything about that. He was probably nervous as well. The second innings, he looked very much in place.
Got the Yorker.
Yeah, terrific Yorker from Archer. The second innings, he was much more freer. Likes pulling the ball, likes cutting the ball. I've bowled to the nets to him a lot of times. He's tonked me a lot of times, to be fair. I got him out a couple of times, to be fair, as well, so it's probably a draw. But no, he's also a very good guy. There's a very timid guy. Takes a lot to upset him. But yeah, he's played a lot of cricket with Travis Head for South Australia. He's had a little bit of a hard time last couple of years where he's moved states, moved to Tasmania. But as you know, with Tasmania pitches, they play on green tops. And that's where he's learned his trade, to play on those seaming conditions. And he's been the leading run scorer in the Sheffield Shield last 2 years, Jake Weatherall. So he's a very aggressive batsman. He likes bat on ball, as we saw that when he actually is at the crease. Likes pulling the ball, square cut shots. Doesn't like driving. There is a weakness there. I know that personally from experience. Can be a little bit vulnerable. Yeah, it can be a little bit vulnerable driving. But anything short or width, he will punish you. He will put butt on ball. He's a very hard hitter. He plays a lot of big bash for the strikers. So he can hit a big ball. So he'll be. I think he'll be there for a while. I think you persist with him. The nerves will go away. The more you play, the less nervous you get. And he's not a nervous starter. You know, when McSweeney started, you know, you could tell he was a nervous guy. He just wasn't an opener. You don't get that with Weathers. You know, he's a very experienced campaigner, been around cricket for a very long time, domestic cricket for a long time. Nervous for the first innings, but got better as the game went on, didn't he? So, no, I think he'll be all right. He'll be all right, Weathers. He's a good man, Weathers.
So I think he's gonna play for the long period of time, and he's gonna continue to open the batting, right? He will not be moving from opening to middle order batsman, and Travis Head will be batting at number 5, or he will be opening. Whether Cricket Australia will look to obviously retire Usman Khawaja after this series, and then maybe pushing him to the top order batsman.
Yeah, Weathers, he's open. He doesn't bat anywhere else. He's been an open all his life, so that won't change. It's interesting with Head. Australia like Head at 5 because he can counter attack, as we saw today. He can take a game from you very quickly. If Khawaja is unfit, if he's not playing, I reckon they might bring in Bo Webster, and Head could probably open the next game. So there's a Sheffield Shield season. There's a Sheffield Shield round going on as we speak. Harris Renshaw did not make runs. Constas made a 40. So there's really no one making runs that's
And
saying
what has
pick
happened
me,
with
pick me.
what has happened with the Constance? What has happened
Yeah,
with the Constance?
with Sam, unfortunately, he's got a huge technique problem with the in-swinger, and again today he got out LBW with an in-swinger.
Okay.
So that's a huge technical.
Because if I'm not wrong, he was the opener in Indian series, right? He was the opener in the Indian series.
Yeah, and he opened in the West Indies series. No, he was a man against boys in that West Indies series. I know West Indies were terrible in that series, but Constas was equally terrible. Just couldn't get anything going. Jordan Seals and Joseph really took him to task on those pitches, so he got dropped. He went to play India A in India. He made 100 there. He made 100 in Indian conditions. Which we thought was very positive. Which we thought was very positive signs. The biggest problem is that he plays stupid shots. Instead of playing normal cricket, he likes to
That
rant.
I've seen in BGT.
There was a Sheffield Shield game this year against Victoria where he was playing against Boland, and in the second ball of Scott Boland's innings, he thought he'd ramp him for 6, and he got it horribly wrong. And that does not do your reputation any good when you play shots like that.
Especially once you are playing in test matches.
Yeah. So he has the reputation of a slogger. He's not a slogger because he's made hundreds. He's made traditional hundreds before in the Shield and in India against India A in India. So he needs to get rid of that from his game. At this point in time, he's just not making runs. He's really not making runs, and he can't be picked. So it's sad, but I think we would see him again. But it'll be a while. He has to find runs.
Okay. We have discussed about the Australian team. Now, moving ahead with the England team, what do you think? What going to be the changes in the next test match? England going to make? I'm quite sure about it that Jofra and Mark Wood will not be going to be playing all the 5 test matches regarding their fitnesses because they both have come from the injury. I think Jofra Archer is coming back in playing test cricket for after 2 or 3 years. Mark Wood was out of this action for 1 year. So, what are the choices they have? Are you thinking that they're gonna make some kind of changes in batting, or will they continue with the Jofra only, or they will be making some changes in bowling? And what are the different options they have right now?
Well, it depends on the pitch. Well, the next test is the pink ball test. So, do you bring back a spinner? Probably not when it's going to be bowling friendly again.
No.
So they've got options outside their squad. Ollie Robertson's been playing grade cricket in Sydney. So he's actually, even though he's not in the squad, he's actually playing in Australia. He's been a net bowler. I don't know why England agreed to let him be a net bowler for Steve Smith. I find that stupid. Because you got grade cricket and then you got state cricket. So state cricket's like your Sheffield Shield. So Ollie Robertson's been playing grade cricket, and New South Wales invited him to a net session with Steve Smith. And England should have blocked that, to be honest. I don't know why he allowed that. So you've got Ollie Robertson there if you want to bring him into the squad. Matthew Potts, again, for me, I don't think they'll make a change.
To be fair, I think they have moved on from Ollie Robinson. I don't think they will be playing the test matches for England again. That's why they didn't have anything to say.
Jimmy Anderson's there as a consultant. I would not be surprised if Anderson plays next test. Just be careful of that. It's a pink ball test. His best figures is with the pink ball. He took his first 5 with the pink ball. I wouldn't be surprised if England said, you know what, we need to rest some players. Jimmy Anderson, you've been bowling in the net. Apparently, he's been bowling in the nets. I don't know if that's true or not, but apparently
because because
Yeah,
he has been playing T20 format also, right, from all over the world. So he hasn't
yeah,
he has retired from the international cricket, but he hasn't
yeah.
retired playing cricket.
Yeah, so I wouldn't be surprised if England said, you know what, you are bowling in the nets. Your best figures in Australia is with the pink ball. We'll bring you back for one time, see what you can do. I wouldn't be surprised because Wood was horrible.
He
Wood
will
looked
always be
undercooked.
ready.
Wood didn't look fit for me, so maybe they'll give Wood another test. Archer, they've made it clear with Archer they don't want him playing consecutive test matches. Atkins, for me, I think Atkins would be the only bowler that would play all 5 tests. He's not a quick bowler.
Yeah,
He only bowls 7 overs. So I think he's one bowler that would play all 5 tests. So it just depends what they do with Archer, Wood, and Carse. Carse also. Carse I thought was very good in the first innings. I thought he was fantastic. So I think they'll play Wood again because he was
I'm not
undercooked. I
sure.
think they want him playing.
I don't think
Yeah,
Wood gonna play all the test matches repeatedly.
I don't think they'll play all. There's no way Jofra or Archer will play 4 5. I think they'll only play 3 maximum. A bit like Bumrah when he came to Australia.
Yeah,
So I think they'll give him a go the next test match because if they rest Archer or Wood and they go down 2-0, well, you're not winning the Ashes. You know, history says when you go down 2-0 in Australia, you don't win. You don't win.
I'm
So
not wrong.
I think
It's not
they'll
only
give him
about the
one more
Ashes.
go.
No, nobody wins. Nobody gonna win
Yeah,
the series if you are 2 downs in 5 test match
yeah.
series.
Yeah, no, well, no one, no India, South Africa, England. So I think they'll give it one. If they do win the next Test match and they play Wood and Archer, I think they'll be rested in the third one. But as long as the series is alive, I
Yeah,
think they'll play Wood and Archer. If they lose the next one, well, I think they'll just. I don't. If they lose the second Test and Wood and Archer are playing, I don't think they'll play again for the series. I think they'll give up. But whatever happens, it's a must-win test. They must win the next test. They can't go down 2-0.
yeah.
Um,
And to
and
keep the series
Australia,
alive, also to keep the series
yeah,
competitive, they need to win that next test match
if
because people will lose interest in
yeah,
watching this national series.
yeah, if they go down 2-0, they'll lose 5-0 or 4-0. They'll get blown out.
That's for sure.
Um,
That's for sure.
yeah, so they have to win the next test. They have to win the next test. After what's happened today, when they've bowled so well in that first innings, and they lose by 9 wickets, I don't know. I don't know.
Still, I also am thinking about it. What has really happened to them?
Yeah,
Because if you're
it's
taking a
very
40 runs lead in the screen top
yeah.
cricket and still manage to lose 9 wickets, it's quite a horrible feeling being an opponent.
No, that's exactly right. So if they lose the next one, I don't know. I don't know what they can do.
Okay, no issues. I think we are done for this test match. I think you will be doing a separate show with James.
It's,
You must
so
be
yeah,
very happy with that.
stay tuned for that. We will be doing a proper review show with James Butler. James Butler. I can't wait for
Yeah.
that. I've been
There will be a lot of
I've been
trolling. There will be a lot of trailing. There will be a lot of trolling. There will be a lot of banter that will be happening. So stay tuned, guys. Meanwhile, do like it, do subscribe it, and hit the bell icon.
Yes, do like and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching this watch along and a little bit of review at the end. Thank you so much, guys. Subscribing actually helps us produce more videos. So please do subscribe. You don't have to watch. As long as you're subscribing, it's all good. Thank you so much. And Gaurav, thank you for coming on. And I'll see you